Of the many crimes and injustices committed against early Chinese immigrants in the American West, the most brutal occurred at Deep Creek, on the Oregon side of the Snake River in Hell's Canyon. In May 1887, at what is now known as Chinese Massacre Cove, as many as 34 Chinese gold miners were ambushed and murdered by a gang of horse thieves and schoolboys from Wallowa County. The crime was discovered when some of the bodies, thrown into the Snake River, were spotted near Lewiston, Idaho Territory, 65 miles to the north. News accounts reported that the bodies showed evidence of torture. The first accounts of the killings at Deep Creek reported that 10 men had been murdered. Early news accounts suggested the number of victims was much higher. The Sam Yup Company of San Francisco, employer of the Chinese miners, directed Lee Loy, who may have lived near where the bodies were found, to pursue the matter. Lee hired Lewiston Judge Joseph K. Vincent to investigate the murders. Vincent reported his findings to the Chinese consulate in San Francisco, which unsuccessfully sought help from the U.S. State Department. In March 1888, one of the gang, Frank Vaughn, confessed and turned state's evidence against the others. A grand jury indicted 6 men and boys, all residents of Wallowa County, for murder. 3 men, including the presumed leaders of the gang, fled, and were never caught. 3 others were declared innocent by a jury on September 1, 1888, following a 2-day trial in Enterprise, Oregon. No one was punished for the crime. In 1891, the father of another of the accused killers, Robert McMillan, quoted his son as confessing that the gang had killed 34 Chinese before fleeing with a large quantity of gold. Credible accounts written separately by 2 early Wallowa County settlers put the number of dead at between 31 and 34. Nothing is known about the Chinese victims beyond some names and their home district in Canton, now Guangzhou, Guangdong Province, now Guangdong. They would have been among the tens of thousands of Chinese laborers who crossed the Pacific in the late 19th century in search of work and gold in what they called Gum Shan, or Gold Mountain. The 1880 census put the nation's Chinese population at 105,465, of whom 9,540 were in Oregon. Over the years, the massacre was largely forgotten. In 2005, the U.S. Board on Geographic Names approved giving the name Chinese Massacre Cove to the Deep Creek Massacre site, the first official recognition of the crime. In June 2012, a memorial to honor the slain Chinese miners was installed at the site of the massacre overlooking the Snake River.